When was the last time someone asked you, what are your dreams? It might have been when you were a kid and you were doing a class assignment. Your answer could be anything, anyone. It was limitless. There was no restrictions, no bounds. You felt free to say whatever you felt like because that's how you were, free. And it seems like over time, we stopped asking each other that question, but more importantly, we've stopped asking ourselves that question. We've stopped asking ourselves as we've started to get older and start to accumulate the various restrictions, constraints, expectations placed upon us by the constructs, the forces of society, those around us, parents, peers, so on and so forth. And when we stop asking ourselves that question, when we stop answering, we lose sight of that freedom, that sense of ourselves that rung true when we were first asked that question when we were young. And I guess that's my question to you. Wherever you are in life, whatever it is you're currently doing or pursuing, does it ring true in your heart like it did when you were a kid? Do you feel free like you did when you were a kid? And for most people, myself included at times, and perhaps even you listening, this isn't the case. Try as we might, pursuing degrees, jobs, so on and so forth, there's this nagging feeling that something is off. It's as if there's a pebble in your shoe. You just can't shake it. You don't know what it is, but it can't be shaken. And you try to you try to repress this feeling. You try to numb yourself to this feeling through late nights, going out, doing what everyone is expecting you to do in your youth. You jump jobs, you jump companies, you pursue people, you do whatever. But that feeling remains. The thing is, that feeling, it comes from the same place from which when you once answered, what are your dreams? Because that feeling, that sensation, it's communicating to you. It's your inner voice, your truest self. That which you lost sight of over the years as you took on the expectations of others, as you started to pursue paths, not for yourself, not that you wanted to, but out of obligation, out of duty, out of a need to please everyone but yourself. But that thing, that sensation, that voice, feeling, whatever you want to call it, it's it's there. It's there for a reason. It's telling you that something's not right, something's off, that you're not tuning into that voice of yours, that sense of freedom that rung true in your heart when you were a kid. And it's difficult to tune into this voice, your true self, and to recognize it for what it is in the first place because there's so much noise going on all around us in the form of people, social media, the news, so on and so forth. It's like trying to isolate a sound when there's a blender just going off around you. And that's the thing, it's that voice within you, it's not gone. It's merely being drowned out by everything else around. So if you can really sit, be still in solitude with yourself and block out all of the noise, you'll start to pick up on, you'll start to tune into that inner voice, that song that rung true within you once again. And when you do that, when you start to tune in, you're connecting with your true self from which you've been disconnected this entire time. But it doesn't stop there, right? Because ultimately, listening is one thing, taking action is another. When you tune into that voice, it'll tell you, it'll direct you where to go, what direction, what path rings true in your heart in a way that you felt when you were a kid. And when you do that, when you really, really tune in and hear what it is that you really want from the depths of your heart, from the depths of your being, a want that is true to yourself, then, as author Paulo Coelho says in The Alchemist, and when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And it sounds so cheesy. I remember reading that for the first time last year, right around when I quit my first job out of school in investment banking, that job that I had pursued because all the noise around me was telling me to. There was a path that never rang true in my heart, that never felt right. It always felt off. It always felt like there was a pebble in my shoe. No matter what I did to try and stifle that, whether it was doing all of the shoulds of a 20-year-old, going on dates, going drinking, having late nights, studying for grad school, whatever it may have been, that feeling remained. And it wasn't until I sat with myself I tuned in and I really honed in on what it is I want out of life, what it is I dream of, and took action, did everything start to change. Because when I think about the past, gosh, call it 15 or 16 months since I left that path behind, my life has changed completely. There have been so many instances, random occurrences that have happened. I've been like, did that just happen? This is crazy. It's like unexplainable. But the more and more this has happened to me, the more and more I realize that this isn't crazy. It's not a joke. And it all is just part of my being, my normal, quote unquote, day to day. This sort of stuff just happens now. The sort of stuff that I want deep within, that rings true in my heart. Things that seem so maybe inconsequential, right? Me living here in this apartment, this neighborhood, even the day job I currently work to pay my bills, to strangers I've met across the world in parks and random Airbnb homestays. I could have never imagined a life like this, but it's all because I've started living true to myself. I've declared, I've committed to what I want in life, what I dream of, and align myself and my actions towards that. Because at the end of the day, while the universe or whatever word or noun, whatever you want to use to call it, is perhaps the single greatest group partner you can have on a project ever, you've still got to do your fair share. You can't just lie on the ground and expect to manifest everything into your life as people like to believe. You have to ensure that your way of being, which comprises of the actions you take and the decisions you make, aligns with what it is you want in life. If you do that, if you play your part, the universe will take care of the rest. And it's this belief that has really been shored up for me over time. So I've experienced it, like I said, so many times at this point. It's not crazy. It's not like I couldn't believe it anymore because maybe in the past there was a little bit of doubt or questioning. But when you experience something firsthand over and over and over again, that doubt goes away and it becomes knowledge. It becomes certain. And just, gosh, having that certainty in my life of knowing so long as I continue to remain true to myself, to just be and not do, everything will work out. Life will unfold as it's meant to. The universe will take me to where I'm meant to be, will provide me the experiences, the lessons, the relationships, so on and so forth, that I need in pursuit of my dreams and that which I want deep within my heart. provides a sense of ease that I couldn't have described in the past when I was just running like a chicken with its head cut off, just frenetically trying to do all the time to live up to the expectations, the shoulds, the constraints that were placed upon me by everyone else, everything else. They weren't true to who I am. Freeing yourself from all of that, it makes sense that you feel this level of freedom that is indescribable. It gives you this sense, this certainty, just like when you were a kid, that when you ask yourself, what are your dreams? And you answer with truly what you want, you know it's going to come true. It's going to become reality. And the same goes for you. If you haven't been asked in a while, what are your dreams? Well, I'm asking you now. What are your dreams? No one else's, but your own. It may take time to remember the dream, right? Chances are it's nothing new. You've had the answer deep within you for some time, but it's just been left in the dark for a while, drowned out by all the noise. So really sit with yourself. Be still. Start to peel back the layers of what it is you actually want in life. And ask yourself with each layer, is this what I really want? Does this ring true to me? Until you get to your answer. And the thing is, as I've started to realize myself, is that your answer that you might have had when you were a kid, or that you even have now, it'll change over time. It'll transform just as you do in time. The more important piece is to be open to this. For to be open is to be free. And when you free yourself to the world of possibility, of your limitless, your unlimited potential, then everything else will fall into place. The universe will conspire with you, and it'll work with you to bring you what you want out of life. So, with that, I hope you take the time, whether it's after this video or sometime in coming days, to really reflect and tune in. Because once you tune in, you can start taking action in a way that aligns with who you truly are and no one else. And from there, just let the magic unfold. So, with that, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you tomorrow.